Hello, this is Scott from Scott in the System, and our guest today is Jenna Reed, the marketing director of Envision America. Hello, and thank you very much for coming today.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me, Scott. I appreciate it.
And how long have you been with Envision America?
I've been here for about 3 years now, and I'm really loving it. I moved down here we're in Florida, which is wonderful, on the Gulf Coast. And I moved down here from the Washington, D.C. area. So it was a big jump for many years, and then worked in marketing. And when I was looking to relocate, I have some family down here in Sarasota. And Dave, very strict, the founder of the company, was hiring, and it worked out. And I love what I do. I love helping people. I love what this company is about. So I was excited.
How did the company get started?
Well, that's a good story. It's very much a family-based company, and it revolves around poker, unusually enough. And the family would get together. It would be Dave, his father, Phil, and then 2 uncles or 2 of Phil's brothers that would get together to play poker. And they both had an RP. And one of them could read Braille really good, so he would do that with the cards. The other one did not, so Dave would whisper in his ear what the cards were to help him play.
What is an RP exactly?
I'm saying it right. Let me Google it to make sure I say it right. Retinitis pigmentosa? Is that right?
Oh, that's a disease or?
Yes. Yes, what it is it's a disease that causes progressive vision loss.
Oh, okay.
And it is retinitis pigmentosa. My memory came in good. So it's something that gets progressively worse over time.
Okay.
So yeah, one was comfortable. He decided to learn Braille to prepare. The other uncle did not, unfortunately. So they would play poker together, and Dave and his father were sitting around, and as they're playing poker, he's thinking there's got to be a better way to do this. This isn't just something that's involved with my family. It's something that others, of course, have to deal with as well. So he started thinking about, well, what about putting a code on something, like a UPC code on something? And so he started coding, and he came up with the idea, and he tried it out on his uncles. And that's how it came to be. The Galaxy, or the ID Mate, evolved from that. So it was something that was very popular. We had it for a lot of years. People used it to identify groceries in the grocery store and to identify the food in their kitchen. And we went through several models of it over the years, but they were almost too well made. They were so indestructible that people a lot of times didn't want to replace what they already had. So we started looking. We knew we were starting to get low on inventory in-house. And we started looking at the market and how much the cost would be to come up with a new model and what would be involved with that. And you got to find out who has the parts availability and all of that. And we started running into some issues. So while that was a core of our company for 25 years, it became apparent that we could no longer continue like we had been. So yeah, we had to make the hard decision earlier this year that we were going to discontinue it. Anyone who has an ID Mate, we fully support. We still do database releases, so the information's not going anywhere. We're updating it. However, we can't offer new ones anymore, but we do have parts for repairs for those under warranty and that kind of thing. So, and at this time, we have no plans to come out with a different type of model or, an app or anything like that, but it's something that we're always thinking about. So.
Okay. That was the predecessor, I could say, before the ScripTalk we're going to get into here in a second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what the company was founded on.
Okay.
And then as they slowly started kind of exploring, they were talking to Veterans Affairs. The ID mates were real big in VA. We started recognizing that there was an issue, or I should say not we, but Dave and his father started recognizing there was an issue with medication safety. And so then they started looking into, well, how can we also serve this market and improve, independence and safety? So they came up with a ScripTalk, which is really cool.
And how does ScripTalk work exactly?
Funny you should ask, I have a unit right in front of me. And I'm opening the box for it. It's real simple. It reminds me of an old-fashioned CD player, one of those kind of Walkman CD players we used to get back in the day.
Oh, something I can relate to. Mm-hmm.
So what it is thousands of pharmacies throughout the country, including Walmart, Sam's Clubs, Costco, Rite Aid, a lot of mail orders such as Caremark, Kaiser, Express Scripts are on board. They offer this to improve medication safety. And what the pharmacist does, and it's a little electronic tag that they're going to stick at the bottom of the bottle. And it's a little circular tag, and it says RFID with radio frequency identification. And it's got a little chip in it. And then we provide the device to read that information, or you could use your phone, your smartphone, to read the information. There's also a free app available. So once you let your pharmacist know that you want this device, they'll give us your information. We don't see your medication, your prescriptions or anything. We're just going to ship out a ScripTalk station or get you set up with the app so that you can get started. So the pharmacist programs a label with all of your prescription information. And then once you get it, for pills, you're going to turn on your ScripTalk station. As I said, it's flat. It's like a CD player. It's got 3 buttons on the front. There's a circular read button and then 2 arrows.
Could you tilt your camera down to show? Okay. That's what it looks like. Okay.
Yeah. And then this is what the RFID tag looks like on the bottom of the bottle. I'll pull it right up. Okay. And then typically they're going to put it on the bottom, the bottle. Okay. So then I'm just going to set the bottle on top of the unit. Let me turn her on first. I'm going to crank her up.
ScripTalk station ready.
So it's ready to go. And I'm just going to set this on the top center of the machine. Once it connects, it's going to read all that information. So you're just going to push that circular read button. Hold on, I've got it tilted. So my
patient, John J. Smith. Medication, amoxicillin, 250 milligrams capsule. Instructions. Take 1 capsule 3 times daily. Quantity, 30. Prescription date, September 5th, 2019. Used by September 5th, 2020. Refills remaining, 0. Prescriber, Dr. Ben Casey. Scriptability Pharmacy. To reorder this prescription, dial 800-890-1180. Prescription number 123456. Warning, period. Important, finish all this medication unless otherwise directed by prescriber. Warning,
so it's
period.
cool because it includes all your warnings and all that information, as well as your pharmacist's phone number and all that. And then you can use the arrows if you just want one piece of information.
Warning, period. Warning, prescription. To reorder this prescription, dial.
You can jump.
Scriptability.
So you don't have to listen to it all if you don't want to. And you can speed it up. I know a lot of folks like to listen to stuff a little faster. So there is a way to speed up the voice so it'll talk a little faster.
Yeah.
And then for those who like the smart app or the smartphone, Let me see. I've got it on my phone too. Just give me a second. I've got the Android. A lot of folks have the iPhone. It works almost the same on both of them. So I'm going to open up the app. The app is free to download.
NFC is disabled. Do you want to enable it?
You can see it's yelling at me. It wants me to enable near field communication on it. So I need to do that. And the Android only, it's going to yell at you to enable it. If you've got the iPhone, it's automatically already enabled.
Oh,
So,
okay.
let me enable it.
NFC is disabled. Do you?
So I turn on my NFC. Let me go back to my app.
Please present prescription tag.
So if you've got an iPhone, you're going to hold it up to the top front of your phone, that little black part that goes across the top. You're going to hold it up here. Now I've got an Android, so mine's a little different. I'm going to hold it in the back where the camera is. So right below the camera, I'm going to hold it.
Unable
I
to read
pulled it
label.
away
Please
already,
try again.
so it's not going to scan. Let's do this again. This is full scan.
Prescription information. Patient name, John J. Smith. Medication, amoxicillin 250 mg capsule. Instructions, take 1 capsule 3 times daily. Quantity, 30. Fill date, September 5th, 2019. Expiration date, September 5th, 2020. Refills remaining. Oh. Prescriber, Dr. Ben Casey. Scriptability Pharmacy.
So it's all
Pharmacy
the same
phone.
information that you get on the unit, the ScripTalk unit, it's just slightly different. And in addition to full scan, the app has a few more features. It's also got a quick scan. So say you've got multiple bottles in front of you and you want to double check that you know which one is which, you can hit the quick scan and you're going to hold it up. Sometimes you've got to wiggle it around a little.
Amoxicillin 250 mg capsule.
And it's just going to remind you what that medication is. And the other cool features is, it's hard to see, but there's 3 buttons or 3 bars that goes across the bottom of the app. There's a My Meds button, which is really helpful if you're going to your doctor's office where they want to know what you're on. It's going to give you a list. If anything that you full scanned with this machine, it's going to give you everything. So you have that right in front of you.
Oh, that's a great feature right there. Because every time I go to the doctor, they always want to know my prescriptions. So I try to recite them, which is nearly impossible if you have over 10 like I do.
And some of the medication names are so complicated, I can't remember mine half the time. I'm just like, it's all the same.
Yeah. Now, of course, the app for your iPhone or Android, that's a free download, right?
Correct. There's no cost involved with it. And there's no cost involved with the labels either. The labels are free. The pharmacy is the one that's paying for that and providing that to you. And this device that we're mailing to you, if you want the ScripTalk station, that's free too. We just ask that you return it when you're done using it so we can pass it off to the next patient.
Okay, so there's no out-of-pocket cost for the user or customer.
Correct. Yeah, and it doesn't have to go through your insurance or anything like that.
Okay, that's nice.
So another cool feature on the app is there's a pharmacies button. And basically, it's going to take you to a screen. It's going to help you to find the closest pharmacies to you that offer ScripTalk. All you have to do is plug in your zip code. And we're getting ready to upgrade it so that it'll be automatic. It's going to know where you are from your GPS if you have it enabled.
Okay, cool. That makes sense.
And then there's also a help screen. So if you need like a little quick tutorial on how it works, I don't have voiceover on my phone because I'm not that great with knowing all the swipes. I'm bad. But it'll go through and it'll read all this information as to how the actual app works. If you have any questions, the full scan, the quick scan, an edit mode, and all that good stuff. So You do have to
Okay.
have a newer iPhone for it to work. I believe it's 7 or higher. And then it works on most Androids, most of the newer Androids.
Okay. Well, I can see that might be a little bit of a issue, being some people are not always on board with upgrading. They get comfortable with the old phone and don't want to go to the next generation. And at some point, of course, they make it so you have to.
They want your money.
Exactly.
This one's over 2 years old and I'm not ready to give her up yet. So we'll see how far I can go with her.
Yeah. How does a pharmacy become involved with the program?
Well, there's 2 ways that you can get them involved. You can give them the information about us and about ScripTalk, encourage them to call us. But sometimes the best method is to call us yourselves. And we have a team that will actually reach out to the pharmacy and we'll do our best to get them on board, particularly for the smaller, like if you have an independent pharmacy that you use, we'll do our best to get them on board.
Well, I think that's the situation I fell into. Being my pharmacy is more of a standalone. I think a couple years ago I introduced the program and they just probably forgot about it. Mm-hmm. Where if somebody from your office reaches out to them, it just changes the whole tone, I think.
Mm-hmm. So if there's anybody out there listening, they can give us a call at 1-800-890-1180. Again, that's 1-800-890-1180. And just tell us what's going on and where you want it. And we're going to do our best to reach out to your pharmacy and get them on board. We do have thousands on board already. I can't say that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're already connected with them, but I can't promise, unfortunately. What I can tell you is that all Walmarts throughout the country do offer it at the pharmacy counter. So if you go up and you ask them, they should have it. If they don't know what it is, they can look on their internet. It's called The Wire to find it. Or just give us a call and we will contact them and get them set up for you. So I know most people, not all, have a Walmart in their area. So there are alternatives if for some reason we can't get your independent on board. So.
Okay. This expensive for the pharmacy?
I wouldn't say it is. It's one of my friends in the company likens it to the cost of an Amazon membership for a year. So it's not expensive at all. We definitely work with the pharmacies to provide them with what they need to get their patients started. We're all about patient safety, so we want to do what we can to work with them.
Okay. If your pharmacy is not part of the program, how could they get involved?
We try to get them signed up. We connect them through this to our sales team, and the sales team will educate them on what the offering is and all of that and what is involved. The alternative too is if your pharmacy doesn't offer it, there's a lot of mail orders that do. You're not going to get it as quick, unfortunately, but you can always go that route. So, it depends on what you're most comfortable with. If you really like your pharmacy, then,
Okay. And our last question here being, we already talked about the ID mate. Mm-hmm. By chance, do you have one there with you?
I don't, unfortunately. Okay. Since we're no longer selling them, I don't typically demonstrate it anymore.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably just good policy.
I can answer any questions, though. We do have tech support. So if someone does have one and has an issue with it, they're welcome to give us a call. You know, we've got a devoted team that's in place to answer any questions anyone might have. But the best way to describe it is it's like if you're checking out of a grocery store, you know how they run your groceries across that, it's like a red laser, UPC. That's exactly what this machine does.
Well, yes. I have this vision in my head. It seems possible to take a scanner gun like they do for your bigger items and connect it to your phone. It sounds great, but in theory to actual reality is two different things. And I'm sure trying to get voice or text to voice, that's where the real technology comes into play.
Yeah, and one thing that we've been hesitant about with it is because our scanner is so robust and it catches that barcode so easily. You know, the camera on the phone is great. It's wonderful, but it's not to that level yet. So that's one thing that's holding us back from doing an app or something like that. So, you know, we don't rule anything out, so.
Okay. Yeah, well, I think you guys will be able to do it again when, you know, technology catches up to replace what you had.
Good possibility. They're always, every time I turn around, something new is coming out. It's crazy.
Yeah. And lastly here, this available outside the United States?
It is. ScripTalk is available at a lot of pharmacies in Canada. Trying to think. Sobeys is a big brand in Canada. The Empire brands, I think it's called. There's like 420 locations that you can find us at. We're also available in some very limited Walmarts up there. We're not in all Walmarts. But yeah, and some independents. We're doing some pilots and we're looking into expanding overseas. So there's been some noise in Australia and New Zealand and possibly the UK. So we're on the cusp of going international.
Okay. That sounds great. And just overall, do you know how many pharmacies there are in the United States?
Let me say, no, we have users, ScripTalk users, I can put us over 20,000.
Okay.
I'm not comfortable talking, I don't think, about the pharmacy number just because it's an evolving situation. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like users. I can give estimates.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time giving specific numbers just because, you know, it changes. If somebody goes off medication and doesn't need it, you know, they send the unit back to us. But I can tell you there's over 20,000. There's almost 2,000 Walmarts. So that gives you an idea. That's just Walmart alone.
Okay.
So quite a few.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out, you know, how many are on board, you know, and this type of thing.
That's a great question. It really is.
So therefore, anybody watching this throughout the United States can feel fairly comfortable. They'll be able to have this program provided to them.
I'm Googling to see if I can, or Googling, I'm going into our database to see if I can. But what thing I would encourage them to do, here it goes, is they can visit our website. Yeah, it's envisionamerica.com, and that is ENVISIONAMERICA.com. envisionamerika.com. And if you scroll to the very bottom of it, just above like design and content of this website, blah, 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 there is a find a pharmacy box, find a participating scriptability pharmacy. And it is accessible. If you have anybody has any issues with our website, let us know. We want to know. If you click on that, it's also going to give you a list like where I am. I'll Google it automatically using my location data, so it knows where I am. So it's looking for me down here in Florida, and it's pulling up 53 scriptability pharmacies. Oh, that's not my zip code. It must be pulling it from somewhere else. But from 33773 zip code, it's pulling up 53 scriptability pharmacy options.
Okay. Yeah, so, I did that for my area as well.
So that's a really quick and easy way to go in and see who's near you that's offering it. Now let me go in real quick and look up real quick to see if I can give you an better idea of, we've got quite a good number. I would say double-digit thousands of pharmacies who are offering ScripTalk. I don't want to give specifics because I'm not in here actually doing the information myself, but we've got thousands of pharmacies for sure.
Okay. Yeah, so it's not like sporadic, it's pretty solid throughout the country. Okay.
Chances are very good we can find a pharmacy near you, and if we can't, we can definitely get you set up with a mail order that'll ship it to you.
Okay. Before we leave it today, would you like giving your URL again for our viewers?
Of course. It's www.envisionamerika.com, ENVISIONAMERICA.com.
And your 800 number
is 1-800-890-1180. And they're also welcome. Anybody is also welcome to send me an email at any time. I'm happy to answer questions. My email address is J as in Jenna. So it's JREED @envisionamerika.com. And then we also have a customer service team that's always available. Well, I shouldn't say always. I don't think they'd like that, but they're wonderful. They're here from 8:30 to 5 Eastern time throughout the week. They always are answering questions. And that email address is customerservice@envisionamerika.com.
Well,
you can find us. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on LinkedIn. I'm always looking for fun articles and things to put up. So you can always follow us on there as well.
Well, okay. Thank you very much for coming today.
Thank you, Scott. I look forward to seeing the interview. I know it's going to be a good one based on your previous ones.
Oh, thank you.